You can finally trick your enemy with this insane dump. FEIKO style is the new best setter style you can use right now in Volleyball Legends. So I will teach you how to become pro with FEIKO by learning how to dump properly, set properly, and maximize your potential with this style. I can assure you can become pro within 5 minutes. So without further ado, it's time for you to become pro. Alright, so this is the stats for the FEIKO. As you can see here, he has the max stats for setting and jumping. So that means he is a setter type. He got a decent speed and mid stats for his spike, but here's the interesting part. His secret special allows you to dump your set, meaning you can become much unpredictable setter if you can use your ability properly. Alright, the first step to become pro as a FEIKO is to go to the practice mode. So let me show you how insane FEIKO is. So this is how the default set looks like. So as you can see here, his setting has similarity to time skip Kageyama, where the ball goes straight than the usual arc pattern. But the only difference is that it doesn't stop mid-air. His setting physics has the similarity between the time skip Kageyama and the Taicho. He's like a middleman between these two setters. Alright, so here's a quick tip from me when aiming your set. First, your aim for your set determines on where your camera looks like. It doesn't matter if you have ship lock or not. You can easily rely to your cursor when you're aiming your set, especially if you do use ship lock. Now let's go for the exciting part of this, the dump set. Whoa! What is that set? That set is kinda badass. So you can trigger your dump by activating it on your R button. So you can choose between default and dump with this. So whenever you have the dump, the ball goes down really fast. However, there's a limitation to this dump. You can only do the dump set in the front row. If you try to do dump setting outside the line, you will end up getting too low. Getting too low is like getting a slow jump set. So when do you actually use your dumping? The only time you will use your dump is when you are close to net and your enemy is far from the net. Also, avoid aiming too much to the side because you're likely to get too low if you do that. Just like on his name FEIKO, you fake your set by dumping it down to the net. So that's the only simple rules of doing a dump with FEIKO. Even though it's so simple, but I want you to keep tracking your current art ability because otherwise, you might get punished by losing your tempo and you might accidentally set with dump instead of default. So you have to be mindful and careful as FEIKO. Now you know the basic fundamentals of FEIKO. Can you hit the subscribe button if you find this helpful? Now let's talk about the deadly techs of FEIKO. The first deadly tech of FEIKO is the power scaling tech. The power scaling allows you to adjust your dumping. This way, you can easily punish your enemy when they are far from net. But here's the funny part. If you keep doing this, you can easily lure them close to the net. And when they're close to net, you can just spike it with S-tilt instead. And the second deadly tech is the curve spike tech. The curve spike tech is one of the deadliest serving tech you can do for your FEIKO. To do this, max it out, then S-tilt before you activate your curve spike, then spike it. This way, you can surprise your enemy because they won't expect the ball will drop close to the net due to curve spike. Here's the example of curve spike tech. Alright, now you are getting close to become pro with FEIKO, but before that, can we hit 1000 likes? Come on please. So what are the best abilities you can use for FEIKO? The best ability you can use right now as a FEIKO is the steal block. Why? Steal block only needs a few charge to maximize it, and you can keep using it especially in 2v2. It can counter shield break and it's really hard to react with it. You just need a good reading blocking and this will be a perfect ability for you. Second is the curve spike. Like I said earlier, combining your curve spike with your serve is really deadly since most of the serve only hits around mid or backcourt. So with curve spike, you can surprise your enemy by hitting it close to the net. I have done a lot of curve spike with different style like FEIKO and it works most of the time. But this becomes tricky when you do this against pro players. Alright, so to conclude, what are the pros and weaknesses of FEIKO? The pros of this is that it can bypass fishnet or back blockers, dumping ability, it is easy to use, and is fast. The only weaknesses of this is that his dumping is only limited to front row, it has a weak spiking capability, and a mid-serving power. As a FEIKO, your role in the court is to become unpredictable, avoid looking to a spiker when setting, and dump it when you're open and close to the net. How about you try mastering the tips and tricks here? Or maybe all the styles. Make sure to hit that subscribe, and as always, a fellow samurai says, to God be the glory.